So welcome, Andrew, to the Business Spotlight interview series. Thanks so much for being here. Got quite a dynamic, innovative conversation ahead of us, I see. So I'm really excited to dig in. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Andrew Collier. I am the co-founder and director of corporate partnerships here at Kitchenery. So I head up everything sales, investor relations, and partnerships across the business spectrum. So Kitchenery is a breakthrough wireless power transfer technology company focused on cordless appliances in the kitchen space, more specifically the premium segment of RVs, yachts, and private aviation.
Oh, that makes so much sense now. And if you don't know what Andrew's talking about, you guys really have to go check out the website and watch some of the videos because it really helps you really get it. How did you get into this space? Like, how does someone find themselves as a founder of something like this?
Yeah, so I come from a long line of entrepreneurs, more so in the industrial steam heating business. So
Hmm.
nothing sexy, more boiler rooms and Rust Belt America. But I've been interested in tech my entire life. So I come more from a finance background, educationally speaking. But most recently, before I joined the team, I was with an IoT software company out of Silicon Valley. And so, staying in the IoT space, I actually met my co-founder here at a tech event in Tampa. And, we just started talking. I told him I really think wireless power is up next. And he was like, well, lucky for you, I'm working on it. And so, yeah, match made in heaven.
Wow, serendipity again,
Yeah,
it's always
yeah.
these crazy stories. So, what do when you think about, because I know you mentioned the RVs and kind of using it in small spaces, but where do you think it's kind of like going in the short term and then long term? What do you really see it?
Yeah, so in the short term, we're really using cordless appliances as a proof of concept. So some other markets, high-end hotel chains, new builds here in Tampa is a great market. Senior living facilities, so people with Parkinson's can't plug stuff in. Auto shut-off features for people with dementia. And then long term, I really think about it as wireless power transfer as a service. And so, owning that physical process across the device spectrum. So, drones, tools, connected beauty products, laptops, wearables, really the whole electrification of all devices.
Very cool. And in layman's terms, what's really how does the technology show up without watching the video like I did?
Yeah.
In real life, like what does it look like?
So, are you familiar with wireless smartphone charging?
Yeah.
Yeah, so same technology, just about 50 times more powerful.
Okay.
And then our core technology is a hybrid functionality, so you can do inductive heating as well as wireless power transfer. And then our core IP is around smart frequency modulation,
Hmm.
which is not a layman's term, but essentially it means that you can deliver the exact amount of power in real time by modulating the frequency of the waves.
Okay, very cool. And is that kind of what your edge is in the market and how you're different from others?
Yeah, exactly. So, we're not inventors of wireless power transfer. It's been around, for over a decade now. And, we have a lot of competitors, but they're really focused on different areas. So some are focused on EVs, some are obviously focused on smartphones. And so
Mhm.
we found a niche just sort of in the middle. Our system is really designed for 1200 watts of wireless power transfer, which covers about 90% of your small appliances and
Okay.
devices.
Okay. So that's really where your focus is at. And what are some really good partnerships or connections for you that you are actively looking for, either here or nationally or internationally?
Yeah. So on the infrastructure side, we've partnered with companies like Revstar, who's a really well-known technology services provider on the software end. We partnered with Phoenix Portfolio Partners for our PR and marketing help. And so, they're placing us in some nationally known outlets. On the customer side, we're really looking to get into the like RV OEMs at the manufacturing level to get it built into the design so then it's already there for customers. So there's some solutions companies that do that. And then just anybody who builds any device that could need active power or recharge. So, you know, aircraft builders, boat builders, you name it.
Yeah, so when you're really looking for it to be embedded, so when something is
Right.
being built that has that kind of 20, that 12 watt, for our smaller appliances, that's what you're looking for, is to get it right into, so that it's seamless and it's not sitting on something.
Exactly. So like our one customer, they want a seamless galley experience. So no plugs in the galley area. And so
Wow.
we can embed the pad underneath the countertop and send it through about 2 inches of material. And so you'll go in, you'll be cooking your eggs on one zone, you'll be, making your margarita on the other zone, and have your phone charging on the third one.
Wow.
So less cords and less plugs, the better. Obviously, in water, situations, because electrical hazard. So that's really the goal.
This could take like tailgating to a whole nother level.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, one partnership that we'd really like to have is Tesla, and so in the new Cybertruck, in the camping edition of it, they have an induction stovetop that pulls out of the side.
Here.
And so if we make it a hybrid induction pad, it's a win-win.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
can see it. That makes total sense. You ought to just do it right from your trunk or wherever.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's awesome. So, obviously you're in a space that demands a lot of learning and
Mhm.
growth, and what from your, it could be an oldie but goodie, but what really stands out as like a pivotal book or something you read, or a resource that just maybe switched your mind, or maybe something recent that has helped you as a leader of your company. Does anything stick out for you that really?
Yeah, yeah. So I have two. So we were part of the University of Tampa Spartan Incubator.
Nice.
My CEO got his master's at Tampa in entrepreneurship, and so it was a natural fit. And on the wall there is a quote from Steve Jobs, and he says, "I'm convinced half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from unsuccessful ones is pure perseverance."
Yeah.
And that is 100% the name of the game. I mean, I can't tell you how many meetings I've been in, and I can't tell you how many no's I've heard and how many opinions I've heard. So that's definitely one that sticks out. You really got to be in it for the labor of love. And then more recently, I actually picked up Elon Musk's biography
Mm,
by Walter Isaacson, and I there's an old quote that says a well-read person never feels well-read, and
mm,
I sort of take that to heart. But in it, he talks about a lot of his trials and tribulations, and how, and I don't advocate this, but it speaks to the dedication that he was under so much stress in some spots of his business life that like it was making him physically ill. Like he would have stomach pains and issues, and so I think a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, and I definitely encourage that. I just would caution people to really be mindful and take care of their health, because it does take a physical toll out of you. A good one came from one of my cousins. He's a entrepreneur in the house framing business, and he says, the one thing that people don't see, the price we pay, is that it comes out of our hide.
mm.
Meaning your physical, because in his business
Right.
they're using power tools, and they get cuts and stuff
Literally.
like
Yeah.
that, literally. And so yeah, it's just two different ways to look at the same problem.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. And I think, that there's a book called Grit, which kind of termed that whole thing as grit is really what the difference is. You'd probably enjoy that.
Yeah.
There's another one that you hit on with Steve Jobs quote. It's called Go for No. Have you ever heard of that one?
No,
So
no.
the whole thing is like having a positive mindset about hearing no's, because that's just part of the journey to yes. And so it
Oh,
like switches
100%.
the game and the mindset. It's a very short book, but you should check it out or share with your team so they're on that road with you.
Yeah. One other one just came to mind, and it's a classic. Well, I wouldn't say it's classic, but it's very well known in the tech community. It's called Zero to One
Yeah.
by Blake Masters and Peter Thiel. Yeah, I mean, to do something truly innovative is reserved for a few people in life, and a lot of people iterate one to N to make money, but going from zero to one is, the reason why we have billionaires. So
Yeah, and it does take a lot of hardness to get there.
yeah,
So,
a lot of hardness and a lot of intelligence.
yes. So, and that's actually a perfect segue. I was going to ask you, what's kind of next challenge that you're tackling or in the process of overcoming, or you can see ahead in your path, because every entrepreneur has them.
Yeah. So right now we're focused on product commercialization, and
Okay.
so we've gone through the prototyping process. We're finishing our design for manufacturing right now, and so to get to sell any electronic products in the US, you need an FCC license. In Europe, it's CE. Underwriters Laboratory UL is also a very key like component certification that you need, and so that process is rather expensive. And
Mm.
so we are, in the middle of raising funds to make that happen.
Very cool. So that's really the focus right now. What's the best way to connect with you or learn or stay in touch with you if someone has interest or is in one of these spaces that you've mentioned?
Absolutely. So I'm a big LinkedIn guy. Love it or hate it. I know people have a lot of opinions, but I like it. And so Andrew Collier on LinkedIn, Kitchenery, Kitchenery. We sort of think about it like, everyone's heard of cutlery. It's like
Mm.
cutlery for your kitchen. And so that's Kitchenery on every platform. So that's the best two
Cool.
ways.
Awesome. Yeah, and I highly encourage. I love the 1989 video or whatever. Talking about
Thank you.
that was amazing. I don't know how you
It's
found that, but that was a gem.
Yeah, so it's funny because what we found about content specifically is like a lot of the stuff that we have well thought out and planned, doesn't pan out the way we think it's going to, and then the stuff that's sort of off the cuff, just kills. And so
Yeah.
we've my co-founder, he found that video on YouTube through like a recommendation one time and was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. Like, I'm just going to edit this real quick and put it up and just see what people think. And a lot of people told us how they really like that video. And so it's
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, it's always amazing because always joke about like the Jetsons and Star Trek
Yeah.
coming true, and to see something that far back, kind of
Yeah.
thing, and we are in the 2000s, so it's just really an awesome video. So if you haven't checked that out, it's on their website. You can go find it. It's awesome. So
Yeah, I was actually yesterday I was doing a podcast called The Law of Relevancy by Cordzoen. I'm not sure if you know him, but his company's called Bake More Pies, and he was talking about that. He's like, yeah, like smart tables were in the Jetsons back in the day, and we're like, trying to get there,
yeah, we're
working
almost
on it.
there. That's what's so cool is like
Yeah,
it's right here. It's just finding the right partner. So hopefully
absolutely.
someone sees this and really understands the concept and wants to put it in their boat, their vehicle, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Eventually everybody's home. That's the big vision, right? My co-founder loves to quote Bill Gates when he said, I'd like to have a PC on every desktop in the
I
world.
know.
But I'd like to have, Kitchenery, quantum energy pads and appliances in every home in the world.
Oh yeah, in every room on most surfaces, even walls.
Yeah,
That was one of the cool things from that video is like showing being able to have it on a wall even, with
absolutely.
like
Yeah.
fiber and all the other things that are going in the wall. So it's awesome.
Yep. Absolutely.
Very cool. So my final question, one of my favorites is, what really gets you up in the morning? What are you most passionate about? What springs you out of bed?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be the first one to say I'm not a morning person. I'm more of a night owl. I tend to do my best thinking late at night. But
Well, what keeps you up at night?
yeah, it keeps me up at night. Uh, I'll answer that in two parts. So the first thing I really love about my co-founder Akshay Buva, as our CEO, is his name isn't very common in the U.S. and so he goes by AB, and so we joke with him and we say it stands for always business, and so it doesn't matter where we're out at or what we're doing, we're talking about business in one way or another. And back when we were doing early fundraising stuff in our community round, we would go to like restaurants, bars, whatever, and he would make me pitch random strangers on the spot, and it made me a lot better. And so he constantly challenges me and questions me. So I don't like to let people down, and so that's one of the things that really does it for me. And then the second one is also people related, but obviously I'm invested in the business, but through the community around, a lot of the people I've known throughout my entire life are invested. So my family members, my friends, and I'm from Pennsylvania originally, so I wouldn't want to go home, on Christmas and not have good news to share. Like that shame is too much for me. And so every day or every time I'm, not feeling great or things aren't going well, I just think about myself like I'm gonna have to sit there on Christmas Eve at the dinner table and they're gonna ask me what's going on and I better have something awesome to say.
Awesome. You know, it's probably one of the most candid, authentic answers I have heard, whether it's about not being a morning person or really your family is driving you and doing good for the people that you've made promises to. So that's
100%.
amazing. Thank you so much for doing this and
Oh,
sharing
you're
your
welcome.
story. And if someone's listening to this, I hope you reach out and connect or just expose yourself to some of those videos just to know what's coming in the future and hit them up if you have any connections. So thanks so much, Andrew, and look forward to
Thank you,
seeing you around the
Juliet.
community.
Definitely, definitely looking forward to it.
Awesome.